Our first weighted resistance exercise, so that means with dumbbells that we're gonna do, is called the dumbbell front squat. Now what you're gonna do first, again, like I said before, is to set your stance. That's number one important thing to initially do. Now you wanna have a position where your feet are outside your hip and your shoulder distance. If you're too narrow, you're not gonna be able to drop down as far with your hips. So you want your feet out wide enough so that you can drop those hips down. Next thing is your toes. You want your toes positioned out because the way your upper leg bone, which is your femur bone, is positioned in your hip, it's at an angle. So if you don't angle your toe out, you're not gonna be able to drop down to that squat deep enough. So you're gonna bring the dumbbells up towards your shoulders, you're gonna hold them in this position. Looking straight ahead is really important on this because if you look down, your upper body tends to go down as well. From here, I'm gonna make sure the middle of my knee is in the middle of my foot. That's really important for knee tracking. If you drive your knees in like so, it's hard on the inside ligaments of your knee, okay? From here, you're gonna go down, and you're gonna keep good posture through your spine, neutral position through your spine, and a neutral position through your hip as well. You don't wanna arch your lower back. You wanna drop those hips down nicely, looking straight ahead, knee in line with the middle of the foot, middle of the knee, middle of the foot, and then back up. Now when you come up, you don't want to just come up and stop in this position where you're leaning forward slightly. You want to close that position off by contracting your glutes all in one motion. Now when you do that, typically what's going to happen is you're going to lock out your knees. So watch you're not locking out your knees. And you want to create a nice, smooth transition through the exercise. So you're coming down, try to touch your elbows to your knees, then back up. Down through your squat, back up. A lot of people used to say that you can't not squat below 90 degrees. That is not true. The human body is meant to squat below 90 degrees. So make sure you're trying to use as much range of motion as you possibly can. Because if you don't, you're not going to attain strength through that range of motion. So you really need to work through that full range of motion in that exercise, whichever exercise you're doing.